Hey guys, it's Meg and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm setting up my bullet journal ready for May, so let's grab our supplies and get straight into it. So as you've probably seen by the thumbnail of this video, my May bullet journal theme is strawberry milkshakes. It's a theme I've had in mind for quite some time, and it's one that I've seen a few different people on Instagram and stuff doing, and I really liked how they created it. So a few of the people that have inspired this setup are Autumn Aldrich, Alison Bujo's and Bujo with NATO. I'll link them all down below so you can check out their work. But I've taken little bits of each of their styles and created my own, as well as adding my own little twist to it. So the twist that I'm kind of adding to this theme is not only is it strawberry milkshakes, but it's actually soya strawberry milkshakes because I'm vegan, so I don't drink dairy milk. So I've decided to write onto the little strawberry milk carton soya on the top. I just thought that was so cute and it just makes it so much more me. So that is the inspiration behind this set of spreads. And I also wanted it to be very pastel, cute vibes. So I've chosen to keep all of the strawberries a sort of pinky red colour so that it can really emphasise the kind of milkshake, cute, pink, retro vibes that I wanted to go for. So something else that I'm also trying out for the first time in this set of spreads is a slightly different drawing style in terms of the outline. So again, this is something that I've seen on Instagram and quite a lot of people draw in this style, but with the outline it's a more delicate thin pen and they leave little gaps between some of the lines so it's not completely joined up. And at first I kind of didn't understand why you would do this, but I guess it just adds to the delicate look and makes it look quite sketchy and more hand-drawn, I guess. So I just really liked how it looked and I thought it would fit perfectly with this kind of cutesy and delicate theme. So I'm trying it out. Let me know what you think. Have you tried drawing in this style before? Let me know down in the comments. And yeah, I really like how it turned out. I'm not sure if it's going to be a style that I'll just completely use from now on, but it's really nice to try something different and just give it a go. In terms of all the little illustrations I've done on this page, I would definitely recommend trying to draw these out on paper or some scrap paper or a separate page first, just to practice and get the proportions right. Especially with the little carton of milk, it can be a little bit tricky just to make sure it looks exactly how you want, not too tall, not too wide, anything like that. So give it a practice first, but especially if you've got a dot grid, make sure to use those dots to your advantage so it can help you with the proportions and getting the angles correct. If you want a more in-depth tutorial, if you maybe want to do this theme next month or something, then let me know and I can definitely do that for you. To really bring this page to life, I'm also adding some highlights and lowlights, kind of shadows to each of the little illustrations. So the droplets of the milk that are coming out, I've put a slightly darker pink at the base of them, and then I'm also using a white gel pen to create some highlights, both on the droplets and on the strawberries, and I'll put it on the letters as well. Although this is a really easy, simple thing to do, I feel like it really brings the page to life, and especially because the theme is strawberries and milkshake, it just makes it look more juicy and adds to those kind of cute retro vibes. I'm also just using a really pale grey colour to create a shadow around the milk splat. It's barely noticeable, but it really makes this pop off the page and adds some 3D to our cover page. Next up is our calendar page, and I'm titling this one This Month at a Glance, and that's because I'm going to be including both a calendar at the top and then also some space at the bottom for me to plan my YouTube content. This you could also use for anything like highlights of the month, important things you need to remember, anything like that, even birthdays, special events. I'm just going to be using it for my YouTube planning because that's what I need to be able to plan and see ahead for the entire month. I saw this calendar page layout on Instagram by a content creator called Jess. I'll put her on the screen, and I just really liked the way she'd included both the calendar and there was a line for each day of the month just to include whatever you need to plan ahead and see a little bit more information from than you might be able to get from the calendar itself. I've said before in my previous plan with me's that I go back and forth between whether I'm going to have a calendar spread in my bullet journal or not, and this is just dependent on how busy I am really and how much it's going to be useful, but I do like having a calendar in the spread so that I can flip to the start of the month just to see what day I'm on, and half the time I'm forgetting what day it is anyway, so that's kind of useful. And I think, especially now that I'm busier with my content and with YouTube, it's handy to be able to see what I've got planned, what's coming up, any deadlines, that sort of thing. So you might find this kind of setup useful if you're at school and maybe you've got exams coming up. Then you could have the calendar spread to see the overview of the month, and then the lines down at the bottom to give you space to write in when your exams are or any coursework deadlines and things like that. So I'm just putting some little ready pink blobs in the corners on the calendar, and this is where I'm going to put each of the numbers for the dates. And I find just including a little bit of colour in the calendar spread really helps tie the page together and stops it from being a boring plain white section, because the calendar grid obviously takes up half of the spread. But that's the calendar page done. Let's turn over and do some trackers. So first up is the mood tracker, which I always include in my spreads and I find really fun to create. So I just use the same kind of lettering as I've been using throughout to keep it all cohesive, and then I started doing my little milk carton doodle in the bottom corner. I try to vary up which doodles I'm using on which pages, how many of them there are, etc., so that it's all cohesive and fits with the theme, but it doesn't get repetitive and all the pages look the same. So for this one I'm doing little strawberries as the mood trackers. So I wanted to include the carton of milk because I didn't want an additional strawberry doodle, if that makes sense. So we've got our little carton in the corner, we've got a milk splat down at the bottom for the key, and then loads and loads of little strawberries to track our moods throughout the month. The hardest part with all the strawberries wasn't actually the drawing of them, because they don't need to be identical. It was making sure that they all fit in, so I needed 31 for the month of May, and yeah, it was a little bit tricky trying to make sure I could fit 31 strawberries in the space without them all getting crammed up at the end, so definitely need to do that in pencil before you start going in pen if you're recreating this spread. Then I'm just colouring in the little soya milkshake carton down in the corner. It's so cute, it's absolutely my favourite doodle of all time, and I just love all the colours, all the little pinks and the reds, they work so well together. And that little tiny strawberry in the middle is just adorable, so I am very, very happy with this theme. And I also liked adding the pink stripes to the straw to make it look a little bit like a candy cane, and the little bit of extra pink just worked so well, I couldn't resist. Now I'm just colouring in the milk splat for the key, but I haven't actually chosen my colours that I'm going to use in the key this month yet, just because I want to decide at the time when I start using it, because half the time I put colours in the key when I'm creating the setup, and then a few days later when it comes to using it I've forgotten which ones they're meant to be, so I will pick those when I start filling it in, but of course there'll be pinks and reds to match in with the theme. Then I'm just going around adding in some random dots into the little strawberries to act as the seeds, and that is a very cute mood tracker page all complete. Now the last tracker that I'm going to be creating is a first for me. It's a reading tracker, and as you might have seen if you saw my initial pages, my setup at the start of the year, I did create a bookshelf spread, and that's because I wanted to really focus on increasing my reading this year. It's something that I love to do, but I've just fallen out of the habit, and I tend to be working quite late into the night and then I just can't be bothered to read basically. So I thought including a reading tracker page would be a useful way for me to track how much I'm actually reading each day, as well as a motivator, because obviously I'm going to want to fill it in and not just have it left blank because I've not read anything. So I'm just creating a simple graph type of tracker. So I've got the days of the month down the left hand side, and then at the bottom I've got the number of pages read, and they're going up in tens just so I can easily track how many pages I read that day, and then I'll be able to see it like a horizontal bar graph at the end of the month with how many pages I've read on each day and get a good overall look at how much I've been reading. So because this page is going to look a little bit boring before it's filled in, I'm just decorating as much space as I've got available. So I've got the nice title, I've got a little strawberry doodle and a splat up in the top corner. And again, I'm just adding some shadows and highlights to help all of these little illustrations really pop from the page. Now I'm just finishing off with all the final touches using my white gel pen to create the highlights on the milk drops and the strawberry, and that is the tracker pages all complete. And that is it for my May bullet journal setup. I'm so happy with how cute this theme is. All the pinks and the reds look perfect together. If you love this theme just as much as I do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I next upload. Special thanks to this week's subscriber Shoutout Cushy. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments and support on my channel. Don't forget to let me know what you thought of my cute strawberry soya milkshake theme down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.